the National Standard Bank, but you've had this amazing career around banking and finance with experience in Saudi Arabia and around the Gulf. The speed and the change of what's happening obviously today is staggering. It is not without its bumps, as we know, and some very tremendous difficulties, but it is pretty wild. And yet again, there are conversations we can have about things happening in the Gulf that if we were sitting here even 3 years ago, I don't think we would have been able to talk about. Can you update us a little bit on how you think things are happening with Saudi Vision 2030 in particular now, some of the impact and diversification initiatives that you're seeing there?
I believe Saudi Arabia is the hub for infrastructure and investment for any investment company to participate in the world. If you want solar energy, you should come to Saudi Arabia, the empty quarter. If you want water, we have 63% of the total water desalination plants in the world. If you want healthcare, the potential is there. If you want shipment, if you oil and gas, if you want petrochemical, we are the hub for that. I think Saudi Arabia vision is perfect. We had this diversification concept since the start of Saudi Arabia. Many years ago, hundreds of years ago, Saudi Arabia wanted to go for, since it started for diversification. But it was only on paper because oil prices have been going up and we were having this luxury of oil money coming and spending on our business from the government. But this didn't create jobs. So and this created only spending like equity, no debt. So that was very expensive spending on buildings and real estate, and this accumulated a lot of problems of unemployment, poverty, whatever, even within the richest oil country. Okay, so I think with the Vision 2030, it's coming true. Why? Because our budget is limited now, okay, but our opportunities are massive. If you want to gold, you can come to Saudi Arabia. If you want to participate in infrastructure, I'm an infrastructure banker, and I created the first infrastructure bank in the world, in the Middle East, and we did wonders. I can give you plenty of examples that we can talk days about it. But here I am coming today to tell you, I have found with National Standard Finance the solution to the global world investment in the Middle East. How this come with debt, not ownership, because ownership scares a lot of politicians when you come to invest in water, electricity, because this is very politically critical. So what you do is you come for long-term financing debt, okay, coming from pension funds, institutional investors, insurance companies, coming and putting debt, and turning the project risk to credit risk. These lenders don't take care of project. They don't care where you put the money in. You have to pay through direct pay, letter of credit to them, and have guarantees, either sovereign guarantees, insurance, credit guarantees, and tell them that I will pay you back and enjoy the profits, okay? You can come in as equity participant, but this is up to you. But the most important is the long-term financing, 30 to 40 years, okay? PPPs, BOTs, we've been talking about this a lot. I've been successful in doing this, but it's a lot of headache. But when you give them money for 30, 40 years, this is as a negative loan. Pensioners don't care about the money as a principle. They care about the sustainability of income coming from the interest rate payment. These pensioners also give the money without paying installment for the debtor. Who takes the loan doesn't need to pay the installment. He just pay the interest. You can pay a balloon payment at the end. So all this formula works for everybody together. Look at Saudi Arabia doing that. America is happy to lend us, okay, and get their interest paying, okay. Sovereign guarantees are there, insurance is there, but the problem in the Middle East as a whole, I'm not talking only Saudi. Today is my talk is about Saudi, but I've been investing in the whole Middle East, in international as well. So what I see is the major problem is long-term financing. That's why China came to Saudi Arabia and didn't succeed. Came to the Middle East and didn't succeed very well. Why? Because they gave reckless lending, no structured. But I believe the US, European lending is fantastic to go now in the Middle East and have a win-win situation. And then guess what? You can sell this loan to the public in the Middle East. Everybody would love to buy a loan and have risk-free, okay, income coming from bonds rather than putting in equity and losing their money like what they're doing now in Saudi Arabia and the Gulf. So I believe, wait for my book. It's coming very soon. This is my second book to be published.
Awesome. What's the name? Tell us the title. What's it called?
It's a PPPP, philanthropy, public-private partnership.
Fantastic.
Where also the charity houses in Saudi Arabia have floods of money and they don't know how to invest it rather than empty lands. So I think the whole region can come up to this model with the US, European, international sovereign wealth funds, insurance companies, and have a win-win situation and have job creation with the value chain, not only certain projects, but the value chain surrounding these projects. So I believe I have a fantastic model for you today, and you are welcome to come to Saudi Arabia and the whole Middle East as well.
Now, just a quick question, if I could, on that. A lot of times when I talk to, particularly to American investors, one of the things they still have trouble navigating is a sense of when am I dealing with government, when am I dealing business, and one of the great things that's been talked about in 2030 was much more emphasis of the private sector. Can you give us an update on how the private sector is actually stepping up and promoting some of the activities that you're talking about?
Well, the private sector in Saudi Arabia has been mainly in trade and construction, but they've never been in infrastructure and this long-term financing. Now they're coming up to the picture, but they need the partnership with intelligent money, like not just money from outside. We need intelligent money. Lack of capital is not there in Saudi Arabia. The problem is risk mitigation. So I believe with the intelligent money coming and partnering with the Saudi private sector, the private sector is in Saudi Arabia, you cannot believe how they are very enthusiastic and encouraged to go in the infrastructure financing, but they need the support or the partnership with the experienced infrastructure financing people. And I've done that massively in all over the world, and with Saudi money, with American money, with European money, and it has been successful and everybody is happy. So I think this is